Hey guys, we are countdown. 3 days to go, 4 days to go, however you want to count it. See, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 days to go. That's 3 days. I want to talk about three things: the Reconstruction of America, why we should vote for Dianne Feinstein, and why the hell do Christians vote blue? You're watching Shirley's World. Make sure you get the thumbs up and the likes going, because it really helps us get our numbers going. I want to appreciate those who followed me and watched me on the last video. I was very passionate and real and honest about what's going on in this country and how we have to reconstruct our country. I see that David's come in, Peter's in, Carlos is in, Jack is in. I just thank you guys so much for your support and understanding that if we don't communicate, if we don't look at the wrongs and rights in this country and identify where our ideology is, then we're going to fail. May says, "Hi, Shirley." Hey, May. How you doing? You know, I was looking at Facebook and they had all them crazy faces. I didn't know if I was going to come on with that or just serious. But we got serious issue going on. Urban game changers are nationwide. Robert Lopez is getting ready to go and represent us for Washington, D.C. I'm so excited for him. He's going to come back and tell us how that goes. There's so many of us doing things out there that are changing the country and changing the world. It's time that we do take America back, May. I think that America has lost its own consciousness and its own capabilities of moving forward. So let's talk about the consciousness of America. How do we move forward as America, and how do we get to this point? If we look back in the Civil War of the Reconstruction of America, of the Civil War between the South and the North, there were things that they had to do to reconcile the differences and the growth of America, as the civil rights, as we talk about the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. But in 2018, I believe that we are also going through a new type of reconstruction of America. And the reason I say that is because we have a changing of the guards, number one, meaning that the age of the current administrators are old. They're like in their 80s, 88. Ruth Ginsburg is 88. Maxine Waters is 80. Feinstein, I think, is 85. We are in the Reconstruction of America. And what we're finding is in our Reconstruction of America is that they're either going to be a movement of consciousness or a rush of illegal movement. What does it mean by a rush of illegal movement? Illegal movement is things done illegally, things that disrupt the institution of our Constitution, things that are factors that could affect our lives and that are affecting our lives. Our health, our sanitation, the overabundance of people that are here, that are too many people here, that is affecting our lives. So the current leadership have mentored people who were taught bad leadership. Like you have Kamala Harris, you have Cory Booker. They have learned the corruption way of running government. And the reason why they've been able to stay corrupt in this government is because a lot of us slept at the wheel. So we can't sit back and say, oh, this is because of Democrat or Republican. It's because the people did not pay attention to the failed policies and the failed leadership in this country. But no longer, my people, will we do that. We will wake up and be conscious, because the Reconstruction starts on Tuesday when we vote, on November Tuesday. Voting red creates an understanding of what this country continues to want to do, which is making sure that we stay red and make America great again. Now, if you're not part of that Make America Great Again movement and you don't really care for Mr. Trump, that's not the point. The point is the policies and the moralities in this country are being attacked. I need people to give me a thumbs up if you believe that the moralities in this country are being attacked. I mean, really, do you believe the moralities in this country are being attacked? Do you believe that there's an underground movement to help immigration and cheap labor be able to run this country versus American people? Because, see, there's people in this country that want to allow cheap labor to come in and don't hire Americans. They have displaced us in our infrastructure and our utility operational needs and actions. Now, what does that mean? For those who didn't see my last video where I talked about Everyday operations of businesses have always been open to every culture of people. But what we're finding is a dominance in so many industries, like in the hair industry of human hair or natural hair or sell of hair. The Koreans have dominated that. When we look at the nail industry, we look at the Vietnamese people, they've dominated in that. And when we look at that, how many of you guys have ever, how many American doctors do we see right now? We don't see how many American doctors and nurses we don't see. Why is that? We go to medical school. We know that they're out there. We're not seeing our own American people be able to apply, be able to utilize and get positions in this country from this country. And that is because we have believed in allowing the visa movement to dominate in our infrastructure of operational needs and goods. And then, unless we are more conscious of knowing that, we are going to keep thinking this is a racial issue. This is not a racial issue. It's a dysfunction issue of America's infrastructure and actions of integrating of how we live in this country. When people integrate here, we assimilate together. There's a lack of assimilation. There's an identification of utilizing where to go when you come from somewhere. If you come from Korea, the Korean people have created old money, and they will set up shop for you for their own people to do hair, because that's what you do to get going in this country. If you come from Vietnam, Vietnamese, you will see men doing nails. Why would a Vietnamese man want to do nails, women nails? Because that is how their culture has trained them. They go into pockets of America where they know that their strengths are. But what about Americans? What about white people? What about black people? What about Hispanic American people? Asian American people? Where are we in all of this? Because if they become a block of hedge way to say, we don't want you here, we've got this industry, we've got this portion of action, and we're developing old money, what does that do for us? It displaced us. So we as America is going through a reconstruction. Well, what does that mean, Shirley? That means that we are awakening to the fact of this issue going on that we're talking about. We're awakening the fact that the Constitution has not been truly clarified to some people who have reconstructed and saying naturalization is for everything and everybody. We're a free-for-all country when we're not. We're a country that operates under rules and regulations and law and order. We believe in law and order in this country. Can I get thumbs up on that? Do we want law and order in this country? We do. And then there's this whole thing about this white supremacist. Everybody's a supremacist. I've said this before. Let me clarify this. Every race or every culture, there's no such thing as race. There's only one race of people, because there's the human race, but there's different cultures. So every culture believes that they're the supreme being. That means if you're Asian, you think you're better than everybody else. If you're black, you think you're better than everybody else. It's just man's nature. Oh, not me, Shirley. I love and care for everybody. Well, you're an exception to the rule, because I'm going to speak for the realness of people. And that's how we've gotten to the point where people feel that there's other people getting a leg up over them. But the truth of the matter is that we as Americans have to vote to keep a structure of law and order. We cannot open up our borders and leave our purse and our cars unlocked. We can no longer allow people to think that we're going to care about their babies when there's a disrespect towards bringing people into this country, bringing people into this world, and expect other people to take care of them. There's a lack of disrespect for that. And then that puts burden and pressure on us. So when we talk about the Reconstruction, that's what I mean. Let me talk about Dianne Feinstein. This is going to sound weird to some of you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. We have to vote for Dianne Feinstein. Now, I know you guys saying, what? Why would you say that? You're a Republican. We have to vote for Dianne Feinstein. California is an open primary for those who don't live here. That means that we have 2 seats that anybody can run. We're down to the primary. We're down to the general. This is the general election. And you have Feinstein and you have Kevin DeLeon. Kevin DeLeon is the worst thing that God has put on this planet, in my mind. I don't care for him as a candidate. I don't care for him as elected official. And he is in the top 2 race going against Feinstein. If you don't vote for Feinstein, you're going to be stuck with Kevin DeLeon. Now, if you don't live in the state, you don't understand Kevin DeLeon. Kevin DeLeon is an anchor baby, which means that his parents came here illegally, and he is an illegal elected official who came here under birthright rights with no rights. And now what we're having is these third and fourth generation of illegal children whose children are running for office and changing laws. This man is in the second position to take Feinstein out. If you don't vote for Feinstein, you support Kevin DeLeon. See, we're in a wasting a basket here. I mean, like, it's a waste of a vote, right? Well, you say, well, I'm not going to vote for him. I'm not going to vote for her. But if you don't vote for Feinstein, you vote for Kevin DeLeon. It's a default. That means that their numbers grow and hers don't. Will she be a better candidate than him for us? I don't know. I would say no, but she's not going to be worse than him. There's a movement of a rush here in California. Another thing is Gavin Newsom, who's running for governor, him and his squad has sat down and said this in the LA Times. Listen, San Francisco is pushing for non-citizens will be given the right to vote. Listen to this. Non-citizens, according to the LA Times in San Francisco today, has put an investigation. They ought to be an investigation, but they said that they are pushing the fact that they want the illegals, the non-citizens, to have the right to vote. This is what's happening. And I want to know, can someone contact the White House and ask them, how can we be so corrupt in this state and that nobody's regulating this? These people come here, they're able to register to vote, they do absentee vote. You've got people living in houses that don't live there. I lived in a place one time in California where I had 2 or 3 people who did not live there. I notified them, nothing happened. That these people are not living in the facility. This is something that's really big in California. Listen again, San Francisco, Los Angeles Times have made it clear that they are allowing non-citizens to be able to vote on Tuesday. Now, that's called a rigged election. See, that's a rigged election. That they're going to have these people, whoever they are, to be able to vote with no ID. There's no ID needed to vote in California. You don't need to even be a citizen to be able to vote. On top of them being able to register, I probably don't even have an age limit to vote. You know those little taco trucks I took pictures and videotaping? Now you've got kids that are 10 and 12 years old out there cooking tacos on the street and hot dogs. The state of California is at a state of corruption and on a war level that you could never imagine or fathom in your own home state. We must have a federal investigation against what is going to commence on Tuesday in California. Can I get a thumbs up? Anybody in California agree with me on that? Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Mary's out there. Michelle is out there. Sylvia's out there. Shirley says, I get it. California is estranged in their election. It's beyond that. The fact is you've got hypodermic needles, and now they pass out maps so that when you walk through the city, there's poop maps so that you know where to walk and where not to walk. How is that normal? This is what Gavin Newsom instilled, and they are pushing more forward. The mayor of San Francisco has now set up a place where you can shoot up heroin in your arm. You can shoot up heroin in your arm, and she's happy with that. She says that's not a problem. That's okay to be able to shoot up heroin and do it over here in the corner. They provide heroin shoot-up spaces in Northern California and in Southern California as well. So, you know, we talked about, again, Dianne Feinstein is going up against Kevin DeLeon. Do not support Kevin DeLeon. Do not support Kate Hill. Kate Hill is going up against Steve Knight here in the Antelope Valley. My kids are in the Antelope Valley. And I would tell you, Kate Hill is endorsed by Planned Parenthood, who supports the genocide of African American people. They are constantly they're constantly prodding and pitching and coming to black communities telling us to abort our babies when they don't go after illegals, but they go after black people. So Kate Hill, do not vote for her because she's endorsed by murderers. She's endorsed by genocide people. Don't vote for Kate Hill. If you know anybody in the Antelope Valley District or anybody who's in Steve Knight's district in California, don't vote for Kate Hill. Kate Hill is a no vote. Don't vote for Gavin Newsom. Now, you know I'm not a big John Cox fan. I'm going to leave that one alone. I've got my own feelings on that. If you don't believe it, look on the picture I posted back in May about this whole mayor's race. But I still am loyal to my party and to my team. I will not support Gavin Newsom for a day on Sunday. Don't support him. Do not support candidates that believe in genocide. Do not support candidates that disrupt the Constitution. Do not support candidates that are endorsing non-citizens having the right to vote. Isn't that ludicrous? That's what the whole thing I told you. They need to make it say English first. And English is the only language that should be allotted on the ballot. I think we got like 20, 30, 40 different languages that people can read to be able to vote in California. It's ludicrous. It should be one language, one opportunity, and that's for the American people in their own country. You cannot go to France and vote and not be a French citizen. You cannot go to England and vote and not be from England. You cannot go to Jerusalem and vote and not be from, you know what I mean? Italy, let's say Italy, and vote and not be Italian. You can't vote in these other countries, but you can come here, demand rights, put your fists up in the air, and then have a march that basically is declaring war. Now, I read some of your comments where you got mad when President Trump said he's not supporting people throwing rocks and that's a declare of war. It's a declare of war when you have people marching through on a rampage demanding and saying, I claim asylum. I think they ought to reverse any type of asylum. I think they should shut down the borders, and I think that we should work together with what we have and fix what you have at home. Why would you not fix what you have at home first versus letting all that? It's fraud. Nathan says it's fraud. It's fraud, it's absolutely. Gary says you're right. It's hell in California. Carol says it's hell in California. Phil is out there. I'm voting for Knight. I'm voting for Pete Knight. I would vote for Pete Knight. Respect out there, Christopher says. I totally agree with that. Barbara says, from Toluca, how you doing, Barbara? Rachel's out there says it's a mess. We know it's a mess, but we're endorsing the mess when we don't vote. We endorse the mess when we don't stop and try to, if you can just educate one or two people. Y'all saw us out there in Santa Monica the other day. Just educate one or two people. You say, I can't do all that. I can't scream in no audience. I can't do no YouTube video. I send some money if I can. I would like you to at least say, make a deal with me right now, all y'all. Can you at least talk to two people that are not going to vote red and just ask them why? Just ask them why. And if they're a Christian, there's a lot of good premises of being a Christian. We don't support abortion. We don't support liberal agendas. We don't support ideologies that destroy the family. We don't support not being in line with law and order. There's a lot of things that you can pitch to people if they are a Christian. If they're not a Christian, then you need to talk to them about safety and sanitation and health. We have hepatitis A. We have streets being bleached. We have hypodermic needles in the street. Write these things down and reshare. Share this video while you're watching it. Please get the thumbs up. We need more likes. Get the thumbs up and likes and share this video because it's important that other people who may not get just the little bitty things in life can change the nation. Just the little things that we do by sharing and talking about these discussions and finding out. A lot of people don't know about the hypodermic needles. People shoot up there and throw them in the street. Throw them in the street. It's a shame. And then people say, we should just give them a good meal. We have to do more than that. We have mental issues going on in this country. The minds of the American people are disrupted because we don't have our infrastructure going towards the failed policies or failed situations in life. If you get set back in life, we had this thing called welfare, Section 8 or EBT. But now you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 generations of people acting as this is a normal process to live off of. We must break those boundaries and make people understand how structure should be enforced. So I talked about Christians not voting blue. I have a friend, Ron Lyles. He's on there. He can't stand Trump. He's always telling me how Trump got all these women. He has yet to talk about policy. Ron, I ask you, why don't you talk about policies that pertain to Christ if you call yourself a Christian? But all you anti-Trump people can't talk about the policies of Christ, and that's where you are failing. Again, the Planned Parenthood is not good. If you see any candidate that's endorsed by Planned Parenthood, kick that candidate to the curb. You don't want them. We just don't want them. The infrastructure of America is being reconstructed by people like me and you. We have never seen a movement of wave of athletes, entertainers, commentators talk about policies and politics ever. I think we're all saturated, even if we try to take a break and get out of it. Even if we go to a comedy hour, they're talking about policies. If we look at actors and singers, they're speaking around about policies. And these libtards. And I want to talk about one more thing. I'm so sick of these pussy people. I'm going to say it. I'm sick of the pussy people. All the pussy people out there with their pussy hats and them flashing themselves and say, grab them by the ballot and then covering up their pussy with a ballot. You know, people think that's cute. I think it's not only disruptive, but I also think, and that's what they want to do. They want to be disruptive. I think it's rude. I think it's immature. And I think that if you are with a party that tells you to grab it by the ballot and show naked women and scream like demons in the street, you might want to leave that party. You might want to walk away and change your life, change the game, and come on over to the red side. Because it doesn't make sense as a woman that has pride and ownership of her body to put yourself out there all naked and exploit yourself. I've heard of these people doing it publicly, as well as you guys have seen the postings on YouTube and Facebook. And it's these liberal progressive women that have no respect towards themselves. It's these liberal progressive women that lied on Kavanaugh. It's these liberal progressive women that are lying, saying that men raped them, but they didn't do anything to them. You know, women are getting off too easy in this country. And I'm a woman, I'm telling you. But if you're wrong, you're wrong. We need people to do righteous things in this country. And if you're not going to do righteous things in this country, you need to keep it walking. Because you're not good in helping America become great again. May says, definitely. See, Shirley says, walk away from their movement. You know, the movement that they have makes no sense. Because the ideology of their interaction of people is just a spirit that is disdain with me. It's disdained with me. You know, sometimes you guys need to operate in a spirit of discernment. Do you ever look at someone and say, you know what, I don't know about them. Something ain't right. All the cookie jars ain't full. You know, all the elevators ain't hit to the top level. The tick-tick-ticks ain't right. You know, them tick-ticks, man, they ain't right. You don't have to say nothing. That's what I'm trying to teach you. Learn to trust God. Learn to get quiet. And look at some people, when they start thinking they know everything and they start talking policy, some of them don't say shit, excuse me for cursing. They ain't got, I'm serious. You say, what the hell is he talking about? What is he talking about? You know? I'm sorry. He's not giving you any websites. He's not giving you any examples. He's not providing any law or order. He doesn't understand the Constitution, or she or him. So don't be disdained by people who act like they know policies when they don't. Just don't agree with them, or don't say nothing. Just say, okay, this one's cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. I'm going to keep it moving. But you've got to discern the good from the evil. And then sometimes when you see evil propelling, you step in and ask God to give you discernment. I had to go to Barnes & Nobles and get a book the other day. And this lady was allowing her daughter to buy tarot cards. And I said, wow, she's allowed, why? I said, that's an interesting side of the realm of spirituality you want to go to. I said, do you have a Bible? She says, yeah. I said, have you ever read the Amplified Bible? She says, no. I said, you know, there's different versions. There's the Amplified Bible. There's the New American King James Bible. And I said, before you explore the dark, explore the power of light. And that's it. And I told her that, and when she left, I thought, man, I should have went in there and said, here's the Amplified Bible, let me go buy her one. But she, you know, I planted a seed. That's what I'm trying to say to you. If you can plant seeds in regard to spirituality, or if you can plant seeds in regarding to policies, and ask this person, do you believe in abortion? Do you support the failed policies in this country? Do you want to expand illegal immigration? Are you willing to, ask these libtards, ask them this question. I got this question. No, seriously. Ask them, are they willing to host these people in their damn house? Say, I noticed that you really are an advocate for immigrants and illegal immigrants. Why don't you put them in your house? Why don't you do me a good favor? Why don't we host them in your house? Why don't we have a host party? And some of you guys, especially the ones you guys know, the ones with all their money, you can say, would you be willing to host 5 families into this country? Put them in a house, buy them a house, pay their bills for a year. Would you be willing to do that? I mean, if they're willing to do that, they say, why don't you put them in your house? No, don't buy them a separate house. Put them in there with you. Because that's what you're doing in America. You put them in here with us, in our house, the American house. And now they're pushing and pushing. I want asylum. I've got murder and criminal records, but I want special treatment. These people are declaring war, and I'm warning you. I'm warning you. If those people get over here, don't get it twisted. That is a declare of war. And you know what we're going to do? We believe in the right to bear arms in this country. You are not going to get across that border, and you may not be able to get back to your other ones once you're dead and gone. So if you got people marching across that border, don't underestimate this administration. Stop testing and testing and testing, because he will use his power to the fullest. And none of us will feel any sympathy for you. You think we're going to be sympathetic? We're not. Because we've warned you and warned you and warned you to respect law and order, to not come across those borders, but you still want to come across the borders. That ain't happening in this country. We don't want illegals, and we're going to stop it through this administration by building a wall. But the problem that we have is the ones that are here already, that are here illegally, now are being empowered by the American citizens and by the American legislators. That's a problem. When you have American legislators like Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, these people are anti-America. They're anti-America. Or you got the purple people eaters. You've got some rhinos who ain't saying nothing. Or you have rhinos who basically say Mr. Trump doesn't understand the 14th Amendment. Like Ryan. Who the hell side is he on? A purple people eater. He's sided with the blue side, so he's purple. He's red when he wants to be. He's purple when he has to be. Again, why is it you versus us? Why do we have law and order? Why do we have the Constitution? So that we won't have any distinction of not having an understanding of this issue versus that issue. If there's a law, why don't you stand by that, people? Somebody tell me why these elected officials circumvent the law and circumvent the Constitution. I'm sick of these people. But if we are going to vote them back in on Tuesday, if we are going to vote their counterparts, people that are in that blue side of the wall, then what good is that? That is an upside down America. That is a failed country. That is policies that we never asked to have that they are enforcing, such as right now the illegals can sell on the streets. They instilled that they don't have to be licensed. What was this letter grade for? This health letter grade, A, B, C, D, E, F, whatever. If you have a bad food in restaurants, what good is a letter grade when you allow people to openly sell food on top of a grocery cart and put a propane tank? Where was the health and sanitation? There's no gloves, no washing, no water, no ice. You have shrimp open in the middle of the day. And there's sickness going on. And American citizens constantly being pushed out by people cooking on trash cans and grocery carts. Someone tell me, where is the logic in that? That's because we have failed by voting candidates that don't believe in structure of law and order. See, it all leads back to bad policies and bad people. Bad policies and bad people. And it's not about blue or red. It's bad policies and bad people. And there's some bad red people. But in most cases, the blues are the ones that want to expand governmental programs. It's the blue that wants policies that want to be inclusive for all. We're all the same. It's all good. It's not all good. It's not all same. It's this old saying that all money ain't good money. I'm sorry, all money ain't good money. All candidates aren't good candidates. They are not working in your best interest. So at the beginning of this, I talked about, again, vote for Feinstein. For those who came in later on, vote for Feinstein. Why am I voting for Feinstein? Because it's the lesser of the two evils. That's how the policies work. You might be in California. You're going to have to vote for either one of the two Democrats. It's either Feinstein or it's going to be Kevin DeLeon. Who the hell wants to vote for Kevin DeLeon? Kevin DeLeon brags about the fact that his parents are here illegally. So if his parents are here illegally, we do not want Kevin DeLeon, okay? He wants to bring in more illegals, and he wants open borders like some crazy lunatic. And he's got some kind of evil spirit on him. I don't like him. I met him, don't like him. Another thing, I want to make it very clear, we are in the Reconstruction of America. If you want to reconstruct this country to have an understanding of capitalism and not socialism, there's a movement of socialism in this country where they believe that you should take care of all these people and everybody else. Well, who the hell gonna pay for that? How can you continue to tax the people, raise their gases, raise their utility bills? How can we continue to want that? Because that's what they're going to do to offset these people. California's got 10% income tax. And yet many of you have blue friends. Just say things to affect their lives. Like you say to yourself, how do I get these people to vote for a Republican? Forget about the Republican. Think about the policies. If you can get them to understand that socialism has policies that increase taxes and revenues to help expand, to pay for people out of your pocket, not out of government. The government will squeeze more things out of you to help circumvent regular operations that normally keeps things normalized, but it's not going to be normalized through socialism. Oh no, it's going to be expansion of programs to suppress and suppress and suppress your rights, but to expand their growth base and then have you indebted to living everyday life. You can't even eat. You're looking for deals now. You're like, why is my money not going so far? Some of you guys are getting ready to retire. You're running out of money. Listen to me. Some of y'all getting ready to retire and you're going to run out of money. Because why? These people are pushing these socialist policies. These policies talking about the Democrat socialists. We want Bernie and the socialists. You better watch that word. That word is a bad word. We don't want any social policies that are going to destroy and be divisive, because there is a sense of socialism that we have in this country that is a pinch of a good. And that's it. But in most cases, this country is and 99% of the time, it's like we are a capitalist nation of people. We believe in free market and free enterprise. And if you don't know how to utilize free market and free enterprise to your advantage, you're lying. If you ever used a coupon, that was free market and free enterprise. Have you ever saved going out to dinner and not spending a whole bunch of money? Have you always looked for deals? Do you have Groupon on your phone? That's free enterprise. Do you have DoorDash or those people who deliver to your house because you don't feel like going out? That's called free enterprise, because you said, well, I'm going to pay this person some money to pick me up something. Those are free enterprise. If you don't believe in free enterprise, then that is a failed policy in your own brain of understanding capitalism and understanding conservatism, because to conserve means to hold back and to save for a better event or a better day. So it's an understanding of being a conservative to hold back. It's another thing to understand the capitalism to make the money to move forward, to take yourself to the next level. But if you don't have free capitalism and you have socialism, it's putting people at the same level that you're at, and they don't even have to work for it. It's because we all want to be fair. We want to love. We want to open up. Forget that. Get them flowers out of your damn head. What the hell's wrong with your ass? That peace, love, happiness bullshit. Man, it ain't cheap gas, $4 a gallon. No, it's high in California. You go out to eat hamburgers, hamburger fries and a drink. Go to Carl's Jr. You out $13 for hamburger fries and a drink. And don't have no damn kids that don't eat no Happy Meal no more. Man, I remember when my sons got to the point that they didn't want to eat no more Happy Meals. I knew I was in trouble. I had to find ways to make some more money. Happy Meals don't be happy no more. Okay? Happy Meals ain't happy no more. I remember when Kenneth turned 12, and I had closed an escrow deal. I felt good. He says, can I have a steak, Mommy? And I said, okay. We went to Houston's, and at that time, that Hawaiian ribeye steak, y'all know that steak is good. Oh, Jesus, that steak is good. Anyway, I let him order that steak. I think it was $28. Now I think it's $38, but it was $28 at that time. He inhaled that steak. He didn't eat it. That boy inhaled that steak. You know what I did? I messed myself up. Because then the little Negro, he had a taste ballot that increased. Now he wanted the steak all the time. When we going back, Mama? I want the steak all the time, Mama. Oh, see? This is what happens. We put ourselves in a position, once we've obtained the good taste of life, we want to go back to it, but we can't. Because there's other entities that are suppressing us that cost us money that says, well, how do we get to that next high again? Well, I'm telling you high. Stop allowing all these people to come in here. Stop saying you want socialism and you don't want free enterprise. Find a way to make money. Find a way to think outside the box of what you've been going through and become a better person. But you're not going to be able to do that if you're not thinking about free enterprise. Hold on. I'm pushing all kind of buttons in this car. Because I'm trying to get the light on. Okay, who else is out here? Cheryl's still out there. Thank you. Phyllis is out there. Deontay, I saw you out there. Leek is out there. Kevin's out there. Shirley, thank you for speaking to us. Yeah, I feel very honored to speak to y'all. I love y'all so much. Rory's out there. Socialism ideas are sinking ship. Are they really? Are they really? Because I would tell you, that young girl in New York, she's saying that we should have more socialism. We should have socialism policies in our country. But why should we have socialist policies in our country? So she can get more of her illegal cousins and uncles over in here? That's all this is about? Her getting her uncles and her cousins over here for free and wants you to pay for it? That's some bullshit right there, man. I'm telling you, we as people have to wake up and start smelling some of these roses. Hello. Hello. Okay? Hello. I'm thinking, how did that come on? Mike, get your son some barbecue books. Honey, I tell me about it. He cooks really well, and he also knows how to barbecue. I'm sure of that. But when he was younger, that's what I'm saying. You want to expose your children young to the good side of life. You want to buy them nicer things in life so that when they get older, they know what those things are. But if you're constantly scraping and scratching and you can't do better for your family, then why continue to live in this kind of a stress in society? And that's called socialism. This socialist society has put pressure on us to take care of everybody else, so all your costs go up. You can't go to the markets. You can't go. Let's say you want to go to the beach. Don't stay with me. Listen, share. Make sure you like this video and share this video. It means a lot to me that you can do that. Look, you remember when you used to go to movies for like $5, $10? How much does it cost to go to a movie, a really nice movie? Let's say you want to go to the Gold Cinema. Y'all know, anybody know, put your thumbs up if you know what Gold Cinema Theater is. Gold Cinema is about $32 to get in. They sit back, they bring cocktails, you sit in recliner chairs. Baby, that's good living. If you ain't done Gold Cinema, it's great. But guess what? You can't do Gold Cinema all the time because you have to hold back and be a conservative. You can't be free liberal with that kind of stuff. And it's getting worse because the cost of living is so high. What you're finding is they'll raise the prices of a movie, they'll raise the prices of food, or they'll change the size of the peanut butter and the cereal boxes, and they'll put more air in the bag. Ain't nobody stupid. Ain't nobody stupid. This is because of free enterprise being pushed down and socialism being expanded. Like someone was saying, "Ooh, look at McDonald's." I said this many, many years ago, and Willie Larson did this video on Urban Game Changers. Willie Larson, when they had the McDonald's had the computers, you know, where you can order your own food. Now look at that. That's a way of pushing out that $15, $25 an hour. These people want to take a child's job, which is a child's job, cooking burgers and mowing lawns. Now they want to feed a whole family. Do you think free enterprise people are going to try to help feed your family? No, they're feeding their own family. That's why they're putting the machine in. Why? Because they want to make more money. They're not going to pay you all that money, no matter what the states may require, because in the state of California, they're saying that you have to have a minimum of $15. They're trying to get up to $26, $28 an hour. No skill levels, no degrees, no certification. What the hell, man? What the hell? How do you expect that man to be able to pay you? How can the mom and pops pay you? Well, those big corporations, they have money. They should just pay. Well, how are they going to pay you? Well, they got all that money. How did they get that money? They got that money by keeping their costs low. But how can they keep their costs low when you want them to offset with your socialist mindset of paying you a lot of money on top of you subsidizing government-imposed programs into your pocket and you being able to get paid a top wage with no skill set? Oh, come on now, people. We got to wake up. Do not vote red. Blue. Vote red. Please don't vote blue. That's a blue mentality. A blue mentality wants you to constantly be inducted with ideologies of needs and wants and an entitlement. You better give me this. I want this. I have to have this. Oh, boo-boo, you need to slow down. You need to slow down. Slow down. Because if we are going to live in a country where it's going to be free enterprise, that means you need to freely get your ass out on the street, find you a job, or create a concept or an idea to get it going, okay? That means you need to be freely open to understand. You need to get out there and learn to contribute to this country through some skill set that you put time in to study to embetter yourself. Don't make an assumption that you're entitled just because you had a baby. Don't make an assumption that you're entitled just because you crossed over the border or your mama and your daddy had you here or the government says you can get a WIC check just because you were born here. Stop this whole entitlement social democrat concept. That's why I get pissed when I see these so-called Christians like my friend Ron Lyles, who's out there constantly posting on my page. I'm calling him out because a couple of y'all I could be calling out on some other issues, but I'm calling him out because I grew up with this man. I don't understand why you going to constantly be posting about President Trump and all these women coming after him. Well, who gives a rat's ass when I'm trying to take care of my kids? You got one daughter, man. I got 3 sons, had to put through college. Got one of them got to put through college right now. And I'm in a state down. They want 10% income tax. What the fuck? Excuse me for cursing. And all y'all keep talking about damn Trump. What the hell, man? Why don't y'all talk about things that pertain to my life, man? Why you guys ain't talking about your car notes? The car registration in this state is a joke. I posted a while back. Every year, someone's registering. Registration $700, $1,100 a month for a new car. Do y'all know registration is high as hell? They're going to find every way they can to pinch from you to pay for them. That's some bull crap in there. No matter what state you're in, or if it's Texas, Atlanta, Chicago, Michigan, please vote red. Vote red and start having conversations of why. Instead of just saying to people, oh, vote red. They're going to say, why? Just give them common sense stuff. Scratch Trump. Talk about your electric, your gas. Talk about different utilities. Talk about your lifestyle. The sanity, the safety, the hepatitis, the cleanliness. These immoral values these people bring into this country, how they segregate themselves away from us. And I'm a victim, you do this to me, you do this to me. I don't like your country bad minds is good. But then they send money over. They ought to have tariff laws against sending money out of the country. If you're building money here, you're trying to help your family in your other country, they ought to send tariffs after you. Because here we have billions of dollars being sent out of the country, and that's not making our country better again. Some of y'all may not agree with that. So, well, they got family out of the country, and they're trying to... I get all that. But it's at a point now, they're taking jobs away from American people just to make money to send out of the country. Where are we getting out of this, people? And they don't want to pay taxes. Oh my God, there's some cuckoo for Cocoa Pop stuff going on right there. That's all I got to say. Unless we have a balance of understanding this whole thing, it is strange. Someone says straight red. Straight red. Just vote red. What does red mean? Red means Republican. For those, I don't know what red means. If you don't know what red means Republican. And if the person in California is a Democrat or a Republican, two Democrats, because in California we got two Democrats on the ballot, you can't vote red. That means you need to vote who's going to lean more towards red policies. You need to look for candidates in California and say who's going to lean more red policies. Because if you're not going to lean towards more red policies, don't vote for Kevin DeLeon. And don't skip that vote and say, I'm not going to vote for her, I'm going to vote for him, I'm just going to skip it. That means you empowered somebody else to make that vote. Vote for Feinstein. Hold your nose and vote. Because if otherwise, we're going to drown with some damn Kevin DeLeon. There's a movement now within the Democrats for socialism and an expedient move, mean like pushing the immigrants to have more rights quickly. Look what they're doing in California, giving them citizenship rights. Look at them at the border, 7,000 people trying to invade. They want them to invade. They want us to shoot back at these people so they can say Trump has created the largest massacre of people killed at the border because of his wall building. Look at these poor people. And then they're going to show people crying. My cousin was in the border. He died. He got shot. You guys killed my cousin. He was just trying to come here. You're going to see all this stuff. I'm telling you, I'm pre-warning you. They're going to be crying. My cousin was on the border. My uncle, my mama, my daughter tried to get over. You guys killed them. You'll see all that. You are declaring war on this state. Don't get it twisted. We're not here to be Cocoa Pops and Puff Tarts in this state. We gangsters. Americans are gangsters. Don't get it twisted. We went to war to be where we are. And don't get it twisted about black people. Black people are gangsters. If you're black and voting Democrat, what the hell's wrong with you? Get out of that situation and leave that Democrat Party. And start talking about policies and legislation that help better our people. Because those people want to have you be inclusive. Well, if you're black and you support Trump, look what he's doing to the Mexicans. He's going to do that to us. What have they already not done to us? They already hanging us. They're hanging the young black men now again. They're hanging black people. I posted that on my page. And then they're weaponizing 911. And we're not sitting back talking about policies. Weaponize. White people gonna call somebody. You're parked outside the parking zone. I'm calling the cops on you. There needs to be some halt on all this madness of the usage of 911. That costs taxpayer dollars. There ought to be legislation that if you inappropriately use 911 and it is valid that you did, you will you will be charged or served a $500 ticket. A $500 ticket for improperly using 911 and weaponizing it. And I bet you if you did that, half that crap will cut in half. Because then they said, we'll find another. Since you libtards want to go ahead and text everybody, why don't you do that? Why don't you stop the 911 weaponizing and people just calling randomly on stupid stuff and then hold them accountable for that? Okay? That's the stuff I don't understand. Let's see. Who else is out there? Roy is out there, and Shirley's still out there. Leach. I know you guys are saying good things. Juan is out there says, you're right. That's exactly what I said. Amen. Dave says, thank you for speaking. You know, all these people are coming into this country, and we as American people have been putting up for the bullshit for the longest. Vote red. You vote red for sanity. You vote red because the policies will be better. You vote red for safety and health and sanitation. We have safety and health and sanitation issues in California. We need to vote red because we want policies to be endorsed. They vote the stupidest stuff. They vote against plastic straws. We can't do plastic straws. These legislators are taking American tax dollars and your time, putting proposed bills on the table that are just ludicrous. Look at some of the policies that are put out there on your state and federal level. And then if they look at the ones that are on the federal level, go to congress.gov. Go to there and look up some of the policies and how those policymakers are creating policies that are not in our best interest. Go there. Look at the monies allocated towards immigrants and illegals. Look at what Wells Fargo did, $125 billion towards the Hispanic community. Why didn't that go to the black community or the white community or the Italian community or the Jewish community, what the Jews just went through? Why didn't it not go towards them? No, they're going to help the Hispanic expand their growth because they just got prosecuted for giving money to illegals, but now they're saying they're going to rectify that in 2015 or 17. Look it up. Wells Fargo allocated $125 billion. Look, I'm not just ramping for my health. I'm ramping because I want you to be conscious. Write down things you want good in your life. I want you to get a piece of paper right now and write down why you love America or what you would want better in America. And then whatever you want better in America, trust me, you're going to be on the right side when it's voting red. Because if you write down, well, I would like a cleaner community. I would like my legislators to kind of hear the ideas of helping the seniors. Let's help this homeless situation. Because all we think is money is going to fix everything. All money is not good money if it's not given out the right way. All money is not good money if it's not given out the right way. If the policies don't have a clear, pure understanding of you saying, where did that money go? And you saw that money go there, you see and you feel the outcome of that money. If we got millions of dollars going towards the homeless, why have not we felt that repercussions of that? I can tell you, I can feel the repercussions of that $1 billion going to the Mexican community because all of them they drive Hondas and they drive Toyotas. That's what they drive, Hondas and Toyotas. And when I grew up, the Latinos were always fixing their cars on the lawn and trying to, kind of making themselves come up. I don't have to come up. They get loans. They own homes. But the white people, the black people, even the Mexican Americans will be discriminated by Mexican immigrants because they don't speak Spanish. I got Mexicans calling me saying, hey, I'm being discriminated against. And I'm Mexican American. Well, what happened? They don't like me because I don't speak Spanish. They know I'm not one of them. Look, they alienate their own. Or you can do the latter. You get the ones who speak Spanish and are illegal. Will use them almost like free labor by paying them underneath the table. It's too much corruption when you live this close to the border of the state of California. It's too much. So we need federal intervention when you have legislators like Gavin Newsom who's saying that non-citizens should have the right to vote. How you going to vote when you can't do that in France or Germany? You can't do that in Spain. You can't do that in England. But you can do it in the good old USA. Ain't no good old USA. It's corruption and cuckoos people. These people are fucking cuckoos. So when you sit down and write the good and the bad, start asking yourself, why am I voting red? Not because of Trump, not because of the Republican policies. Vote red because you want a better conscience of America. You want a better lifestyle. You want to stop the suppression of expansion of government programs that don't really exist. Because I think it's in-house trading when they say, oh, this is a government program. No, it's earmarked so that they can lace themselves. Look at all the corruption that Maxine Waters has done. She still ain't been arrested. Hillary Clinton has done, still ain't arrested. Don't you guys find that kind of strange? That these people have taken so much off of us and they are still not arrested? They're not arrested. It's too many purple people eaters. That means they're blue and Republicans that are corrupt in this country. That's why I call them purple people eaters. It's too many corrupt people in this country. Too many corrupt people still running this country. The drain the swamp is not drained fast enough. but it can be draining faster if you don't vote for them. Look at Stacey Adams. Let's talk about Stacey Adams and the Kemp situation. Stacey Adams is running for office, and she's up there saying, oh, we don't need to have no guns, and oh, we need to open up the borders and let all these people come in. What is wrong with that Negro? So, and then he got Oprah Winfrey. Oprah, go back in your hole. What happened to these hosts when they would talk about the spiritual love and freeness and let's be good about each other and warm and kind? Oh, that's some bullshit right there she was selling. Because now she done got in the political game talking all this crap, including her produced show of Mr. Phil promoting that black girl, talking about she ain't black. And then her sister came on. For those who don't know, that little black girl's lying. She lying. She had a white father who raised her, who passed away, and she got some inheritance money, and her sister said, I'm embarrassed that my sister would do this because my mother and sister are lying. See, that's all part of propaganda to distract and deflect from the things going on in your life. That was a Dr. Phil show. He lost all kind of credibility in my mind. And that's also a reflection of Oprah Winfrey, who helps produce that show. That also a discredit in my mind. So these celebrities have jumped in the front, and they want to give Anne Hathaway the circle of the free woman and the understanding of the emotions. She does some kind of, I don't know what the hell that little girl talking about. Y'all seen that Anne Hathaway talk about the liberal woman and then the gender world. Am I a man? Am I a woman? What am I? We all need to know. You say, okay, are they smoking that new kind of marijuana or that synthetic weed? See, y'all tell them celebrities to put that synthetic weed down. Because, contact my friend Judd Weiss. He got the good stuff. I don't smoke it myself. But I'm just telling you, the synthetic weed ain't working. Because that's what they're selling. Wolf cookies and synthetic weed. The life of understanding. We're no gender here. We can be and think whatever we want. Now, come on, you going to follow that foolishness? You going to follow that foolishness? Tell that stupid bitch, and I like Anne Hathaway, just stay in an acting world, but do me a favor, tell her something for me. Tell her that we all got DNA, and your DNA lets you know if you need to be male or female, because your DNA, thumbs up, tell me if I'm right. Somebody put some thumbs up. Does DNA rectify and tell you if you're male or female? I don't care if you add breasts or cut them off. I don't care if you grow tits or put a butt on you. It doesn't matter. Your DNA will directly tell you if you're male or female. So, again, we're distracted by these things. How does that pertain to my life when I'm trying to pay my gas bill and feed my family and keep my kids in school and do little nice things? Like if we want to go to a nice dinner, how much does that cost? If you want to go to Disneyland, it's about $100 a person. How can you do that with a family of 4 and 5? How can you do that when the cost of living to live here continues to increase nationally? Because the socialist policies want to continue to let all these people come in for free, and the people who have to offset their costs by saying, well, we have to pay all this money to people with no skill set, it's dysfunctional. These dysfunctional things do not make our country great again. Please give a thumbs up and share this video. I want you to share this video because I want you to have discussions of understanding the goods and the evil. The people purple eaters are the Republicans and the Democrats who are not bringing this country together. They have been in office for too long. They're 80, 85 years old, and we are going through a reconstruction of the American system. The reconstruction of them dying off and mentoring people who have been able to be mentored under corruption, who know how to write earmarks, who trying to get you distracted with entertainers so that when they put bills and policies on the table, they're not to better our lives, but to structure themselves in a way that they can get money that you will never see. There's allocated policies out there right now. Where the hell's the homeless money going, people, in your state? You ever asked that question? Where's the homeless money going? It ain't going to us. And if it really was going to the people, you would feel, there's a feeling, right? There's a sense of urgency, not urgency, there's a sense of discernment of saying, man, it kind of changed around here. I'll give you an example. Do you remember when the Mexicans used to sell oranges and flowers on the street because they were trying to get their hustle on? Well, they don't have to do that anymore. Why? Because they get free money. That's when you know there's a wave. When you see people on the street and they sleeping on the street and you stepping over them to go to Starbucks and you say to yourself, how is that normal? There's no normalcy to see a person homeless on the street. We have become desensitized to normal living. Listen to me. Write that down. We have become desensitized to a normal habitation of living in this country. Because the libtards have made it where you have accepted that, and yet they continue to talk about these people having their babies. Keep your damn legs closed. You ain't got to worry about no babies. Keep your legs closed, and take care of your uncle and your JoJo in your own country. And I tell you, if we were to cut that money of sending it back to those countries, I mean, not only just Mexico, but all these countries that are being able to suck us dry and that we can't even help ourselves, they're not paying taxes, and you're going to still vote blue. Why the hell would you vote blue? When you talk to your friends regarding voting blue, I want you to do this. Ask them, how does that better your life? And then start saying, well, Trump, scrap the Trump card. Tell me, by you voting blue, how is that going to help me? In California, they want to have non-citizens to vote. In California, they want to continue the expansion of not dealing with the hepatitis A. There's a special flea bug or something down in the homeless people downtown in LA are talking about. Look how filthy these people's nails are when you look at them. Don't you think that should bother you? Aren't you tired of stepping over somebody, worrying about your back when you drive, double locking your car? You don't care about what color they are. You care about your sanity and your safety. But there's a disdain that is in our life that has become normalized. And that's the disdain of evil, corruption, and a dysfunctional law, and not an enforcement of the Constitution or state and law. Look, in Sacramento last year or the year before, they end up giving $1.5 million. You can Google this. I ain't making this up. $1.5 million to the gang members, the MS-13 gang members, to keep peace in the community. How is that normal? That's what you need to ask those people. How is it the fact that they're able to do that? Give $1.2 million cash. Did I say cash? Oh, I don't think y'all heard me. They gave them cash. You look that up. Gave those people cash to keep peace in the community. You're going to have thugs commune your community and keep it safe. And none of you guys went down to the city council meeting down there. Probably a couple, but not enough. And they probably thought, hell, if we can do this, we can keep this movement going. That's why I give a shout out to those of us who have been down to the city council meeting, to those of us who protested on the streets prior to Trump, during Trump's administration, and now today. It's the little policies that they try to get under the table to put money in their pocket, pay for the illegal immigrants' attorneys. LA County voted to pay $10 million, and it passed. $10 million for the illegal immigrants' attorneys. We pay for illegal immigrants' attorneys to work against us. Our policies are dysfunctional in this state. And this state is going to be used and being used, listen, as a template for the rest of you guys around the country to become like. You too can look disdained and confused and dysfunctional like California. Have hypodermic needles and shit SWAT zones. Now, I know I keep repeating myself, but I want you to understand that's a pain in my life. And it should be a pain in yours. Because these same people go to the bathroom, they don't wash their hand. And the next thing you look up, you want to know why you're sick. You want to know why hepatitis is growing. You want to know why your child got sick or somebody around you may know gets sick. And that's because we don't enforce health and sanitation. You want to know why you can't go to the movies and to the plays like you used to, like your parents used to take you to. You used to do concerts in the park that used to be free. The city used to put those on. Now they charge families $10 to go to concerts in the park. That used to be free. But no, the cities and the states constantly are raising costs because of the fluctuation of people coming into the state, costing the state more water, more gas, more electricity. You guys don't think about those things. That's why you can't vote blue. Don't vote blue. Please, vote red. Even if you don't like the candidate, vote red so that once we get the right candidates that understand the conservative policies, and conservative means to hold back, to spend less. Stop looking at the word conservative as an evil word. Explain what conservative means to people. Stop what you're doing. And when you hear people say, I don't like Trump, try to veer them from that Trump conversation and get them to start talking about policies and plans of action for and betterment for your community. If you don't say Trump, don't say Republican, and don't even say red. Just say, how do you think what do you feel about this red wave? What do you feel about this blue wave? What do you feel about all this? Just ask people in a calm manner. Don't have to be as emotional as I am. But if you can do it, in a calm manner, and ask them, what do you think about these policies? And then let people generate a conversation. And then they start going down to Trump, say, well, Trump doesn't run your local city, does he? Trump doesn't control your school boards, the trash on your street, your electric bill, your gas. But Trump doesn't control that, does he? No. Who does? What's your local people? And then they'll mention somebody local. Know your local elected officials, and you can talk about how corrupt they are, like in the city of Bale and Vern. When those elected officials were making, I think the city manager, one of them was making $800,000 a year for a city manager's job. That's some bullshit right there. Excuse me for cursing. But this is a clear example how if we are conscious of our local policy makers and their income and their abuse of operation, it's easy to sell the red wave. But if we don't know how to communicate with knowledge and facts, and we're acting emotional, and we're just wearing a red hat, what is that going to do if we don't know how to respond to the hat, to respond to the questioning of the whys? But you're coming in with logic. You're coming in with knowledge. And ask for God to give you discernment. Discern in your spirit the right things to say to people. And sometimes silence is power. And I tell you, because sometimes they can implode upon themselves. So what do you feel about the homeless? They'll go, man, this is terrible. Da, 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 da. I said, yeah, do you realize that's in District so-and-so? Yeah, he's horrible. Oh, he's a Democrat. Oh, yeah, but I'm a Democrat. I support Democrats. Wait a minute, you just told me you didn't like the homeless people and you didn't like the policies, but you're a Democrat. It makes them go, oh, yeah, but... See, they imploded right there on you. Boom, you got them. Stand, slam, dunk. That's how you do it. See, who else is out there who has any questions? Joyce is out there. Matthew says, amen. We need to take it back. She says, we have city managers in San Antonio making $50,000 a month. Vote against here. See, look at that. I don't know how these city council people make all this damn money. Maybe me and you in the wrong business. How do you make $50,000? Girl, I didn't hear about that one. $50,000 a month? Are you sure, or do you mean a year? How do you make that kind of money? I know, maybe it's right because the city guy in Bale, he got busted, got arrested, prosecuted. I don't know if he's still in jail, but I would tell you, he was making $800,000 a year. $800,000 a year. City council people. I'm telling you, it's cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. Who else has questions? Kimberly says, very bright person. Thank you, Kimberly. Blessed, exciting prayer. You guys have any more questions out there? Can I answer anything for anybody that you might have? There aren't just tax, but federal also. There's some federal laws that are in place that are corrupt. And we saw those failed policies that some of the presidents have put in place that helped illegal immigrants. There's many conservatives who love Ronald Reagan, but Ronald Reagan's the one that voted to amnestize all these people. Amnesty. All these people became legalized citizens under Ronald Reagan. That didn't help the black community. Why didn't the black people get at arms? Nobody spoke up. We just allow these things to help. People say they want to personally help the homeless people, Rory. The best way we can help the homeless people is have better policies and start talking about mental institutions. We're not talking about mental institutions for these people. We feed them, we clothe them, we give them toys at Christmas. What good is that? We need to have places where these people can stop, commune, take a bath. These people need a bath, honey. A bath really bad. They need some soap. Someone had came up with a concept of shower buses. Y'all remember that? The shower buses for the homeless people? I don't know what happened to that. But, these are policies that we need to be asking our city council people and elected officials who are running. If you're still going to go to some of their meetings, go to their meetings, or some of them that are still out there campaigning, ask them, the homeless people, can we see any legislation come from you beside money? Everybody keep talking about, we're going to give money. We don't even know how that money is being distributed. Be conscious of how money that's given towards us are not being allocated to what is supposed to go in place. So again, I'm just going to leave you with, if you're going to vote red. Think about the red wave. If you're in California, use wisdom in your voting. Remember, because you live in a state that has open policies, that means that you might be voting for a Democrat. But that Democrat might have more of your leaning more blue than red. But don't vote for Kevin DeLeon. Don't vote for Gavin Newsom, and don't vote for Kate Hill. Those are my three I can't stand. And anybody else that's a Democrat, because I can keep going on. Another thing, too, keep in mind that we are going through a change of Reconstruction in America. That's why politics are the number one most talked about stuff in this country. The Reconstruction, like in the Civil War. Because we're in Civil War right now. There are people who are trying to take this country and take it over. And basically push the American values, the Constitution, all out the box. And have free enterprise dumped. And that we push socialism, and that we become a workforce of a consumption country, meaning that all we do is consume. We don't make anything. We don't build anything. We just are consumers. And we can't just be consumers, black and white and Latino and American people. We have to go back to building products. We have to go back and taking our entities back. You can't have one culture of people dominate in the hair industry. We need more black beauty salons. We need more black people handling hair distribution. You can't have one culture of people doing nails. We need other cultures of people doing nails. You can't have one culture of people dominating in the renting department. The Chinese come in here and buy all this land up. We have to have some moratoriums on foreigners buying up land and pricing out a good American people because they come in with cash. See, that's a reconstruction of America that they're trying to put upon us through socialists, and they're abusing free enterprise by pushing us out. Because what they do is create chain migration and help their family members to get over here and not keep us being able to be part of that growth of their company. That means that they're going to hire everybody from their country and not hire anyone who's in America. And that's a disruption of our infrastructure, because that's not the way that we want free enterprise to be utilized, where it's culturally dominated in genres in this country. When we think about the market, or let's say the stores or management positions, if you have a Latin manager, he only hires Latinos, and they only hire people that speak Spanish. See, this is the problem in this country. You have cultural people who are taking over privatized free enterprise entities, and they don't want to work with nobody else but their own. Do not vote blue, vote red. Let's get the right people in office, and they ain't going to get it easy, because once they're in office, Republican or Democrat, we have to do our job and change the game and hold them accountable. Hold elected officials accountable. Time to change the game by voting red or voting candidates that stand behind policies that make difference and make sense. And if they don't make sense, that's when you vote them out. But we're going through a changing of the guards. What does that mean, Shirley? Again, these people are old. They've been in office forever. And then even if they're younger, they've been mentored by crooks. If you see Karen Bass, Maxine Waters mentored her. She was mentored by a crook. You look at Whitney Thomas, mentored by a crook. Camilla Harris, mentored by a crook. There are crooked, corrupt people who are mentoring people in this country. Mentoring people and making it so that they don't help our country, but they help themselves by creating earmarks and putting money in their pocket. How can these people become multimillionaires and you're just an elected official? Some of these people don't even have degrees, but they played the game long enough and they know how to create such structures that are not working in our best interest as American people. Yes, change the ideologies. The ideologies are in place because they're structured. And you got red people doing that too. That's why I call them the purple people eaters. That's why we got to drain the swamp. That's why we're going through a reconstruction, because a lot of these people are dying off and new people are coming in place, but they've been trained and mentored by the corrupt people. And social media platforms is the new media, and communication of what we're doing is the new media. So you guys sharing my video, liking my video, thank you for sharing, thank you for the thumbs up, and liking, because it helps me be able to expand my brand. My brand is your brand. My voice is your voice. I know I say it kind of crazy and I curse and I do a lot of cuckoo stuff, but hey, I know there's some people out there, and them good white people. You know, it's my favorite line. The good white people and the good black people, y'all get me. Y'all get me. Shoot. Because there's some of them libtards and them titty flashing white women, them liberal women who are like they want to get attention. Something ain't right that you expose your body in that manner. Something ain't right. Them tick-ticks, they ain't right. That's why I call those libtards libtards. Because that's not normal. That's dysfunctional to think, well, because I can't argue based on premise and knowledge and facts, I'm just going to exploit myself just to shock you, and that's going to make you change your mind. I'm going to put fake women up against Brett Kavanaugh just to change your mind. I'm going to go after little boys who flirt with little girls at 17 and 15 just to mess up your mind. You know, don't be stupid. That's not policies that are going to help us. Those actions are distractions to have us mad and frustrated. Don't be emotional. Look at the situation. Make an evaluation. Ask God to give you discernment and say, you know what? That bitch is crazy. I ain't doing that. That bitch is crazy. That's all you got to say. I'm serious. Or you say, that man is stupid. Now, you ain't even got to say it to their face. You say in your mind, okay, that one's a stupid one. I'm going to keep it moving. You know, just keep it real with yourself. You ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. But if you're really trying to make some changes, later on you pull a friend to the side. You know that bitch was crazy, right? Yeah, I know. I listened to her talk. She thinks she got it going on. Like Anne Hathaway to my, and the moon and the stars and the sexual being of who we are. We need to elevate that as women. We as women. My sons went and saw Halloween. They were so mad. They came back the new one with Jamie in it. And they said, Mama, it was another lip tart movie. Oh, I'm so pissed. I'm scared Terminator's going to be that way too. You know, these liberals and these movie people want to empower women. What does that mean that they hate men so much? Why are they promoting separatism and hatred and bigotry? But then they say, we do that. They're the ones that promote it. They're the ones pushing it in the movies. They're the ones being a poor example to our children, telling our children those lies that a man and woman don't need no man. You crazy. Every woman wants a good piece, okay? Don't get it twisted. What's wrong with you people? That my woman don't want no man. Well, what the hell do you want? Emasculating a man. Oh, he's so pretty. Telling their children, oh, you so pretty, boy. Boys ain't pretty. What? This bitch crazy. I was standing next to two liberal women, and they're telling their son, oh, you're so pretty. Did she say her son pretty? Oh, okay. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. See, you don't need that kind of energy on your children. You pull your child aside. I used to tell my kid, I said, what would happen if you do that? Oh, we would die, mother. You wouldn't let us do that. No. Call out cuckoo people from your children. People say, oh, you shouldn't say stuff and you shouldn't let your How can you not say stuff and let your child see it? When these people are so blatantly putting it in front of your face with your child and without your child. It's like you are forced to push your children to be in a position of knowledge of stuff you don't care to share, but you ain't got no choice now. Otherwise, they get cuckoo thinking that shit was normal. I don't do that. That's why my kids were little. They grown now. But when they were little, I used to call out people and say, can you act like, no, we can't do that. My mom ain't going to let me do that. I'm a free enterprise. Call 911 on your parents. Oh, you ain't calling no 911. I'm your 911, boy. I am your 9, your 1, and your 1. Come on now. You can't let these people influence your children's life, and you as an individual sit back and take it. And you can't let them subconsciously make you think it is normal to be able to grasp what they're saying, because they have no consciousness of what they're saying, because they're stupid. Stop listening to stupid people. Stop putting your mind and your alliance with stupid people. If the shit is stupid, just say that's a stupid thing. And then they don't have no facts, no data. They can't give you a reference to where that came from. And they want to argue on hypothetics. Oh my God, doesn't that drive you crazy? The people who argue on hypothetics, it'll start off at one thing, right? Then all of a sudden they start going into some subject matter. You're like, wait a minute. What does that have to do with anything? You know, I can't stand Trump. Why? And they tell you why. Then they start talking about the women and, you know, what Stormy said. We weren't talking about Trump. We were talking about the homeless people. We were talking about, well, you know, I don't like Ferguson and what he did in Ferguson. That wasn't under Trump. That was done during the Obama administration, who did nothing. Well, I don't like the fact that the black people getting killed. They got killed under Obama. And they got killed under Trump. Now what you gonna do? You have no understanding of policies and principles and legislation. You have no understanding of holding your local state people accountable. That's the way you change the game. But when you start arguing with people on hypothetics or take you into this river zone, boy, oh my God, does anybody agree with me? Don't you hate people who argue on hypothetics? That's what President Trump calls it, fake news. People say, oh, he's talking. I'm sorry, CNN. I tried to give him a shadow of doubt. I tried to listen to Don Lemon. Don Lemon, Jesus, take the wheel. I don't know what happened to that Negro. I don't know what happened. Between Trump's election and now, this is another Don Lemon from the one I met at Trump's election in 2016. He's so angry with his white husband, and then he gonna go after white people, but he sleep with a white dick. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't have said it, but I said it. It don't make no sense. You hate white people, but you sleeping with a white man. Negro, You got issues. Someone tell Don Lemon he got issues, okay? Because you're going to sit back and you're going to say, I don't, white people are the worst thing in this country. The hell, why you open your legs or whatever you do? Why you turn over? He's probably on the bottom. He's the bottom boy. Anyway, why you on the bottom with your white man? That's what I want to know. You know you're the bottom boy. You know you're the bottom boy for those who get it. Let's just keep it real. Don Lemon, you're on the bottom. So why are you talking about the white man so evil when you sleeping with one I'm married to a white man, I'm holding his hand. Ain't nobody care. That ain't the issues. Your bottom butt don't make no difference. We're trying to find policies to make our lives better. But I got to deal with Don Lemon being the bottom boy man. Come on now. This is what I'm talking about. So when you say Trump, when you're talking about fake news, Don Lemon, and then all in the news, we're all talking about Don Lemon. When we got people dying and homeless, and we got health and sanitation, and these millennials talking about socialism and Marxism. Oh, we're going to be Marxists. We're communists is the way to go. And, like it's a fad or some kind of trend or like it's cool to be about. But they don't even study what that means. They don't understand the ideologies of what that means. Come on, you guys, get your thumbs up and share this video. Am I telling the truth if I'm being too rude? Let me know if I'm being rude. Because if I'm being too rude, you really need to listen. Because if you think that's rude, that's what they do. Just like I told you, put the pussy and take the ballots and cover that pussy. Put the ballot, grab your ballot and put it over your pussy. I'm sick of this. And it ain't black women. It's mostly white women. And yeah, they done found them a couple of Negroes. Them bitches is crazy too. They found a couple. But mostly it's these liberal, progressive expansion of mind. These women that don't take baths and grow hair underneath their arms. These women that don't use deodorant. These women that don't know how to use a comb on their hair. That's what these women look like. They don't believe in sunscreen. They can't even put lip gloss on their mouth. I mean, that's the kind of women that you see. Or you get the ones that they're all polished and put together. But they're still that tick, tick, tick. And that discernment of that weird spirit on them. I'm telling the truth. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. These women do not add value to this country. They're disdaining the millennials and the younger girls to say, wait a minute, something ain't right. That's why you have a wave of black people saying the millennials ain't buying that bullshit that the older generation of let's stand together and let's help Dr. King and Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson is full of bullshit. That's another bullshit situation. That's why millennials are walking away. They're walking away. And they following the new wave, and that new wave is the red wave. That's why black people are coming to Donald Trump. But in following them, I want you to understand that you have to change the game with real policies. But if you're going to sit back and listen to CNN and Don Lemon, who's the bottom boy, that's my new name for Don Lemon. Let's all do hashtag Don Lemon bottom boy. He's the bottom boy. He's on the bottom. He don't want to be on the top. He's on the bottom. So he want to promote the fact that he sleep with a white man just to keep us distracted from talking about real issues in our lives, real issues in America. You're supposed to be a newscaster, but instead you can't constantly interject your personal actions and lifestyle in your utterance, in your presentation of your show. That's why you should not support them. And they get mad. Well, what does he mean as they go to Sarah Huckabee? What do you mean by fake news? That means that you guys argue based on hypothetics. They talked about the 14th Amendment and never read it. They just basically say, oh, he can't do that. He can't do an executive order and stop all that. Well, you have not proven me policies telling me that these people are here legally and have birthright rights. It does not say in the Constitution that you have, if you're born here, you get all these benefits. It was not intended for that. And it should have been clarified. But CNN, boy, y'all love some damn CNN with the bottom boy. The bottom boy, that's Don Lemon's new name, is bottom boy, CNN, Don Lemon, bottom boy, hashtag. He promotes all that. And then hating white people. White people are evil. Wait a minute. Ain't you sleeping with one? And then you got Maxine Waters and the rest of them talking about get out there, kick him, hit him, slap him, sock him in the head, and then call us violent. Oh, it's smoke and mirrors. This is smoke and mirrors. This is what has happened in this country. So when you trail somebody, I'm telling you, you got to vote red. Sit down and talk to your friends. And don't say Trump, don't say Republican, and don't say red. Say, can I talk to you about, do you guys like talking about politics? Yeah. What do you think about this? Talk about issues of the homelessness or certain communities and ask them who run those communities. Who sets the policies for those communities? Who sets the standards for those communities? It'll be Democrats. How many corruption laws of actions have you had against some of these people have been indicted and they go back and run again and get reelected? You people stupid. You vote indicted people back in the office? It's time that we wake up to this. It's time because the veil has been pulled back and the conscious mind has been awakened. The millennials ain't putting up with it. You guys can Google, you can search the real truths of these candidates that are out there that have done corrupt stuff in the past, but yet we continue to reelect them. The purple people eaters have to go. That means Republicans and Democrats that don't support the Trump administration, like Ryan talking about the 14th Amendment. See, this is a man who I don't support no more, because I like the fact that Ryan went after the president when he said that he's going to do an executive order regarding the birthright rights. You got women coming from Russia pregnant, dropping the baby and then going back to their country so that the child can have dual citizenship. You know, these people are taking away from our country. It disdains the empowerment of what America is. Our dollar value dropped under Obama. You guys realize that? Our AAA credit rating dropped under Obama. That was a Democrat. The Democrats have continued to devalue the infrastructure to make what we have, great and standards in this country. But the reconstruction has to start now. We have to build the wall, stop the war. These people are warring on us. They're raging war. They're coming in this country right now. They're marching right now, 7,000 strong, saying, I claim amnesty. See, they have these attorneys. Let me tell you how they know how to say what they say. Y'all ain't talking that. They know what to say what they say because they have attorneys and advisors telling them, this is what you say. You tell them you want amnesty. You tell them that you want immunity. You tell them that you've been abused and that they're sympathetic and they have to let you in according to the law. They're using our laws against us. That's why we have to rewrite some existing laws, because the laws that were in place to be used in our best interest are being abused. Do you guys get it? And then yet CNN is out there perpetuating failed policies and failed antics by arguing for 5 to 10 minutes in increments on hypothetics. You start off with one thing. Let's talk about cherry pies. Oh, cherry pies are so good. And the crust. And the crust and the butter in the crust. Well, what kind of butter do you use? Well, I don't like the butter because butter, I like dehydrated butter. I like coconut oil. We were talking about cherry pies. How the hell we start talking about butter? This is what I'm talking about. It's a switch and bait. It's a switch and bait. So be more conscious to news. Be more conscious to what's going on in this country, because all they're doing is switching and baiting. So when people want to argue with you, they say, well, I watch CNN. And Trump's always talking about fake news. Well, what is fake news? Fake news is hypothetical news that has been perpetually pushed out there and that we need to stop. They said the caravan is now up. It's real. It's 50,000 in the caravan. Well, honey, they can get up to 100,000. To me, they ought to put about 500,000 people on officers on the border right now. They need a SWAT. They need the Army, the U.S. Army. Everybody, put them on the border. And they start showing pictures of an army of American people on the border. See, we only see them. We're not seeing the pictures of army trucks getting ready to come up there. I think some of us who are closest to the border, we ought to drive out there and see how many they got right now. But Chicago's open borders. Now, we talked about Chicago. We talked about the people coming from Syria pushing out people who lost their homes during the crash. And the Syrian community now have empowerment. Now they're voting, and they're voting blue. See, this is what happened when white Americans have allowed black people to be displaced, and black Americans who've allowed themselves to be displaced because we didn't speak up. We stopped working together, people. We can't do that anymore. We have to work together. We have to work in the best interest of our country and our people. But if we don't do that and we sit back and we put up with the propaganda of the foolishness that's out there, what's going to be the aftermath? The aftermath is the chain migration, because as soon as they get here, they learn a trade, they bring their cousin in, and then they became trees. Remember I talked about that in my last video, how there's forests of trees. For those who missed that video, I talked about how the Korean and the hair industry, they got a tree. The Vietnamese, they got a tree. The Armenian community, they sit back and they got gas stations. They got a tree. The Indians, you go to your hotel. Hello, I've got you a round tree. You come book here. The English is broken and you say, I'm sorry, I don't understand you. Or you offend me. You don't understand what you're saying? No, I do not understand what you are saying because your English sucks. That's what I don't understand. Oh, you're being offensive, Shirley. See, this whole offensiveness is what the problem is. Call out foolishness and then you're not offending. Call out the foolishness because it ain't offensive. Let me continue. The Indians of the hotels, they got a tree. Okay? We go further on. The Latinos, they won't hire. They do the worker stuff, right? We cook your food. We do this. We do that. American people used to do that. But see, they purposely block us by management positions, telling us if we don't speak Spanish, they're not going to hire us. They're not going to hire our kids. We got to stop all of this. This is the purpose of me saying this over and over. We have to stop it by voting red. Write down the policies in life of America you want. Then have conversations. Don't scream, don't yell, but try to have civil conversation with these idiot people who don't argue on the premise of law. They don't argue on premise of law. They'll mention CNN and bottom boy Don Lemon, the man on the bottom. He likes to be on the bottom. Oh, you mean bottom boy Don Lemon? Oh, how can you say that? Well, he said he got a boyfriend, and he's a more of the effeminate one. So, he's not the alpha. He's probably the beta. He's a beta. So, he's on the bottom. He is. Mention that. And, you're being offensive. I'm being truthful. If we're going to talk about the Reconstruction of America, we cannot follow people who want to expand other cultures of people who come here who don't assimilate. They don't associate. They don't even want to try to adapt of inclusiveness with you in their policy making. They don't want to say, hey, let's all work together. I'd love to have your son come work in my store. The Indian man ain't going to do that. The Indian man's only going to hire Indians. The Chinese man's only going to hire a Chinese man. That is not America. Something is wrong. We need to talk about the infrastructure of free enterprise being abused in this country. How we're paying underground table people. Come on, y'all, get the likes up and share my video. It means a lot to me. It really does. It really does. Let me see. Who else got some questions out there? I know many of you's out there. Deborah's out there. You call for anyone out there these days. America. Never give up on America. Never get in America. They can't understand half of what they're saying. No, half the time you don't know what they're saying. Another thing, I'm going to tell you one other thing. Communication. You know how you go and you pay on your bill? The telecommunication is another issue we need to talk about. Why is it that these people out of our country are able to use our Social Security number and know our bills? Something needs to be, that happened under Obama, that happened under Clinton and all that stuff. That happened under those people. Hell, I think a part of it happened under Bush too. That's why you see them all loving each other, hugging each other. We were getting played, people. We've been pimped. By the Bush administration, we've been pimped. We are being pimped by these people who are not working in our best interest. And now look at us. We're a messed up country where we've given our jobs, our local jobs, our state jobs. We've given all this stuff away. And look where we're at now. If we call these things out, we can reconstruct these policies. That's why President Trump is doing executive orders to change them. That's why President Trump is saying, where does that say that in the Constitution? Where is there an amendment for that? Where does the law have that ideology in place? Because, see, President Obama was an attorney who was a constitutional attorney, and he knew how to manipulate the Constitution. And we sat back and we just took them dumb policies that were in place. Foreigners have learned to work the system, John said. It's happening because politicians allowed it. It's happened because we, the people, allowed it too. Y'all keep saying politicians. I'm going to say the people. And the people who allowed it are people like us who continue to vote blue. Not me, but you. Not you, John, but others out there. So we keep talking about politicians, but the only way we can stop politicians and this perpetual reconstruction that needs to take place is by voting people out who don't work in our best interest. And for us to create, you guys can write policies. You can create legislation. If you got an idea for legislation, sit down, write it, and start getting a petition like my friend Jasmine. My friend Jasmine is a Democrat, and she came up with a prison reform policy and wrote it up, got it put in through, and now it is a petition on the ballots. I commend her. She's a Democrat. She knows how to utilize the system. So if you want to do that, contact your policymaker and ask them, I'm going to write a policy, and I would like to see if we can get a petition for you to push this bill on the table. Then you go to congress.gov, and you'll see a bill, many bills that already exist that we're not supporting that need to go through the House, that need to go through the Senate, that need to be signed, and that the president needs to make law. So those are the policy makers. But there's policies currently right now that are divisive and destructive. And one is chain migration, which we need to deal with, on top of the privatized prisons and cheap labor. Because, see, we are a country of consumption. We consume so much, and we need to change those policies. Let's see, what else? Wake up, America. Becky's out there. We need to get our friends to switch from Democrats to Republicans. We do. But, it's not about just Democrats and Republicans. It's also understand what we need to do is explain to them why. There needs to be an explanation of why. There needs to be a conversation of why. Just to tell somebody just to support Trump because we want to make America great again can be redundant and become annoying. And you're not going to win people that way. But if you sit down and they're intellectually sound, even just the small things, and say you realize that the policy people who are making your policy locally are not Republican, right? You realize that this state is mostly ran by Democrats, right? Yeah, but the Republicans, no, not the Republican, the person making the policy. Let's clarify. Let's talk about Maxine Waters. Let's talk about Kamala Harris and what she just said. Start calling out the name of the policy people to your friends. Most of them don't even know their name. You don't know them either. Some of y'all Republicans don't even know your local legislators. That's why I created Urban Game Changers. Please get the likes up and share this video. It's important. I'm going a little longer because I see more of you guys starting to pop in, and some of you guys might have some questions. But I think the key thing, what I'm learning, is that many of you guys don't even know who your local people are. You have no clue of these people and how they run your country because you don't know their name. If you know their name, get their phone number. Look it up online. Look up who your senator and your congressional person is, and you see that they're supporting policies that are distraction. Like, let's push through straws, plastic straws. Let's push through squat zones. Those are the things that your tax dollars are going to, because, they have to pay electric, light, and gas and sit down and basically have a conversation, have a session over talking about this. This is bullshit. This is where you say, okay, we're going to have to vote you out because you're stupid. You're wasting our time. You're wasting taxpayers' time. You're wasting policymaker time. You cannot endorse people who waste your time in office as legislators. They don't add value to the state, and we definitely need to push them out. And people say, well, certain people should run. Everybody should not run for office. And all money is not good money, because the money that they're saying they're giving to the people, it ain't never reaching us. And we don't ever go back and hold them accountable. What happened to that money? What happened to that money? Just go back in 2015 or 2014 or 2013. Money will be allocated towards X, Y, Z. I would go to that policymaker and say, wait a minute, you signed a bill on that. Where'd that money go? That's what we ought to do. Hashtag, where'd the money go? Where'd the money go? We ought to say, hashtag, where'd the money go? Oh, what are you talking about? You signed a bill. Go to the city council meeting. All the city council meeting people be paying for friends and family members to get a job. Don't get it twisted. The city council people hire their friends and family and their contractors, and some of them get a little extra. You know what I mean? You used to ask me, remember that thing you voted through 2-3 years ago? Where's that money going? Hashtag, where the money go? That's what you need to ask these people. Because even if we elect them or think we're putting the right people in office, we act like, well, it's all done. Whew, God, I'm glad. We won. The rave wave won. It ain't done. You still ain't done. Because they feel comfortable. Never let an evil person feel comfortable. Don't let evil feel comfortable. You as a person of good and of structure, make them accountable. Make them see clearly. You going to hold them by the balls, baby. You going to grab them cojones and you ain't going to let them waddle. No, baby. You going to squeeze real tight till they say it. Yeah, I'm going to tell you where the money is. I'm going to tell you. Yeah, you going to tell me. Because I'm going to come to this city council meeting. I'm going to hold you tight until you do what is right. So I'm just telling you this is a perpetual thing. This is not going to end. Even after Trump is in or out, it's not going to end until we can reconstruct America, until we can chop some of the roots out of the trees. These people, everybody should be able to do nails. We should go to a nail shop and white women, black women, Mexican women. We shouldn't have one culture of people dominate in doing something because they blocked and they buy up all the franchises. All the travel lodges are owned by Indians, hypothetically. You know what I mean? Hypothetically, we're seeing these industries be dominated by cultures of people. Now, that's not a lie. We see that. But if we looked more in depth, I bet you'll find out they only hire their own. Most of them dominate through buying through franchise and free labor and free market, and we are getting pushed out of our own system, and we do nothing. Oh, no, boo-boo. I think it's time to end this madness. It's time to end this madness and start having some free enterprise limitations on chain migrations. We don't need any more chain migration. We don't need any more money going out of this country if you're making it here for your family, so that you can bring more of your people of your family into this country and create these invisible racial walls. Lack of assimilating and association wall. There's racial walls. There's a bad version of ECOP in California. We need to end that. So, Subway, somebody put down Subway. God bless you. I heard that. Subway's another one, too. You know, you go to Subway. There's a city in Washington, D.C., older city. It starts with an A. It's where Frederick Douglass Museum is. All the communities not built out. They just put a Subway. It's owned by Indians in the black community. Why didn't they give black people those rights? Because they give money to immigrants and these H-1 visas. I just told you where Wells Fargo gave $125 billion, saying that they're allocating $10 billion to help expand the Hispanic community. When did we become a country where we're divided by racial tension and wars in this manner? Y'all need to wake up and Google this stuff and start posting on your page. I don't care if it's even an old legislation of law. Like in California, if you're a licensed realtor, in 2016, they decided to let illegals and immigrants be licensed. You don't have to be an American person. Just like now, they're saying you don't have to be an American person to vote. You can be a non-citizen to vote in California. This state all screwed up anyway. 10% income tax. That's why after Gavin Newsom, there's going to be a massive exit. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's going to be the next move. Massive exit in California if Gavin Newsom wins. That's what we're saying. Vote for John Cox. Be positive, Shirley. I'm trying to be positive. I don't know how I can be positive when they're saying non-citizens can vote. And they got all these illegal ballots all over the place. And we don't talk about that. This is what I'm talking about. You keep talking about let's vote Republican. How can you vote positively in Republican, but y'all know these people corrupted and they got illegals out there registered to vote? It's a twofold right there. You gonna talk about vote Republican? Also say we need the federal government to come in here and intervene for all these corrupt policies that are out there. Jamie says my senator leans as a lame duck in Illinois. Okay, some of y'all got some lame duck people. We all got lame ducks in our state. This is what I'm talking about. We're not waking up, but people are waking up. You can't just walk away. You can't just take the red pill and that's it. That's one thing. I'm not doubting that. I'm just saying that's one thing. But you got to understand, they playing games on us. And the game has to be changed. You have to be awakened. The urban does not mean black. Urban means a culture of people living together that have these invisible walls that divide themselves from us and only help their own. We got to stop that. We got to break them walls down, and we got to stop this division and this bias agenda that the liberals continue to propel by thrusting in our cities and our community. They're propelling and they're thrusting and they're pushing it through. Just like Obama, who's talking about, we're going to bring 4,000, 400,000, something crazy, Syrians in. Thank God for President Trump. Thank God. Y'all would have been invaded with more of these people over here. You know, you offend me because you're racist. They just quick to call that racist. Ain't got no facts. Ain't got no facts, no data. Don't know legislation. Couldn't tell you the Constitution. I don't care about the Constitution. That's what one of them told me in Santa Monica. I don't care. You know, just want to be vulgar and rude and disrespectful. They wouldn't do that in their country. They cut their fingers and their toes off. They spank and slap their women. But boy, when they come here, they want you to abide by their laws. You remember I told you I posted that one thing on my page where there was some city, people had a large community of Muslim people. And they said, please do not walk your dogs in our community because your dogs poop and that's against our religion. So they hide in the name of their religion. They don't want to abide by the Constitution. And they don't want you associated with their family. And they don't want to simulate, they don't even want to share a business proposal idea with you. Something's wrong with the free enterprise being manipulated in that factor. And we're not talking about that. We really need to wake up to that factor, people. And then everything is racist, right? They call everything racist. You a racist, you racist, you a racist. I'm black. Motherfucker, how am I racist? I'm black. Well, my people been dealing with this for 400 years. I'm sorry, I don't mean to curse. It's just so annoying. It pisses me. I sit back and go, you is as stupid as a dumb doornail. You stupid. You are freaking stupid. That's what I want to say, but I know I asked God, I said, Shirley, work your mouth, Shirley, work on your mouth, get your patience down. And then I try to have a conversation based on logic. They're not even logical people. There's an arrogancy of entitlement. When you're dealing with arrogant and entitled people, what do you do with that? You can't do nothing with that. What do you do with arrogant entitlement people? You can't do nothing with that. So then you need federal government to intervene, because locals just as guilty as they are. It's like spoiled children, grown-ass spoiled children that come into this country. I was in Dallas, and the man says, I'm an American citizen. I got my citizenship. I'm an Indian. That's so good for you. And I start talking about something, and he said, oh, you need to understand civil rights, and you need to understand black people are free now. I wanted to look in the mirror and say, does this man know I'm black? I mean, they get to the point that they think they know the Constitution and they want to preach it to you. And his English was so badly broken. I want to say to them, before they allow y'all to become citizens, they ought to let you know how to speak well. They always say, you need to take an English course. And until you learn to speak English well, you are not going to get your citizenship. You need to learn to speak English well, because otherwise it's so broken. And then when you say, can you repeat that, please? Can you say it again? They get offended. On top of the fake news by bottom boy Donald Lemon. Anyway, Nancy says what they did in California was a tale of the lottery money for the schools. You know, they do a lot. The lottery money has been manipulated. I get that. They all got some kind of policies. I think they're taking a lot of the homelessness money, because that's, there's no profit in the cure, but there's profit in pain. Write that down. There's no profit in the cure, but there's profit in pain. So let's get the ACLU and let's help. And then let's show babies in cages, but you got black people in cages right now. Downtown LA. I showed you those videos. Go to my YouTube channel, like this video and share it. Go to my Shirley Husar fan page. Look for that video where I said black people in cages. And I'm not lying. There are people who are homeless right now. They got them caged off. And ain't nobody talking about the black people in cages, but they gonna talk about the homeless illegal children in cages. And then they talking about putting them in tents, and they're gonna put them in tents. When they said that, I thought, well, they must be anticipating some of them getting through. That pissed me off. If they preparing for tents, that means some of them people might get through. My whole thing is they ought to hold them off. That they should never, none of them, you can't have one tent filled. But when the administration said they're going to put tents on the border, that was a red flag to me to say, oh, they anticipate some of them people to get through. That's not a good sign. No, I'm not in Atlanta. I'm in California. I'm a native of California. I will be back in Texas this month, and I will be in Washington, D.C. in December. And I'll be in Maryland in December. So look for us. We might do one of the Urban Game Changers event for the end of the year. We're talking about it, and we like to have roundtables. If you like what I have to say and you enjoy it, please put thumbs up and share. Also, let me know, DM me if you'd like me to come to your city or your state. And let me know. Also, there's Urban Game Changers in Texas, Florida, Atlanta. Just go to urbangamechangers.com, go to our page, and then look for us on Facebook. And then I can connect you with people. Do you want to be connected with people who think like me or talk, maybe not as crazy as me, but at least have the same ideology, viewpoint as me? If you do, thank you for the thumbs up. They mean a lot to me, and the love, and all the love that you constantly share means a lot. If you want me to help you, then please DM me. Let's talk. Let's have discussions. I know sometimes we don't always agree, but don't vote blue. I had to come on a little longer because we're in a state of crisis, and we're about to have a revolution. We are doing a reconstruction of a revolution. And that revolution in this country is we need to stop voting in ways that are divisive and that cause division and friction. And so that's why I want to tell you to vote red and start. And once you vote, that's not going to be it. Whoever you vote for, they can be easily corrupt. At one point, Lies people were good people, but they became corrupt because we've allowed them to stay in power and do what the hell they want. We're not going to do that anymore. We have to start voting for people that make sense. If you're in an open primary like California, we have 2 Democrats. Vote the better of the 2 evils, the lesser of the 2 evils. For the case with Feinstein versus Kevin DeLeon, don't skip that. Please vote for Dianne Feinstein. I can't believe I'm saying this. And the reason why is because we just don't need Kevin DeLeon. And it's the same in other states as well. I'm looking at Urban Game Changers up in San Antonio. We are not in San Antonio. Oh, yeah, no, we're in Texas, but we are in Dallas. We just had something in Killeen, Texas, and we're getting ready to do something in Houston. So San Antonio wasn't too far from Killeen. We just had an event there. We're going to do more. So if you're in Texas, we are definitely going to be doing some more things. A lot of big things in Houston, a lot of big things out there. North Carolina, we're coming out your way too. Don't worry. We're out in that way too. A lot of people, if you're in Virginia or D.C., Maryland, those areas, we are going to do kind of a group area where we are also going to be communicating. We have to talk. We can't just walk away. We just can't take red pills. We have to talk. Because if we talk, we provide clarity, we get data, so it empowers you to go out and know what to say. Because sometimes you just say, well, how do you get people to come in? Like I told you, don't talk about Republican or Democrat or Trump. Talk about policies that affect their life. Talk about how people can better their lives. And ask them, is your life better now? Not under the last administration, this administration. Just talk about issues of health and sanitation. Talk about money. Talk about socialized systems. Do you like the fact that they're trying to, look at the food that you're buying. The boxes have gotten smaller. Have you noticed that? Look at the fact that you have more homeless people and it's normalized homeless people. Talk about things that maybe relate. Try to find the light bulb. I always say try to find the light bulb in people. Because if you find the light bulb, then stay right there. Don't defer. And don't argue. Don't have to argue sometimes. Sometimes they'll self-implode. You just sit back and go, 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, I guess that doesn't make any sense what I'm saying, huh? And you go, see, I told you they're going to self-implode. There are people who don't know what to say. They just ranting. Don't let them rant. Provide knowledge and information, and that comes from communicating. That's why we have urban game changers, because once you do walk away and you take the pill and you realize you don't want to be in slavery, if you're black or Latin or white, let's talk about these things. But if the infrastructure is going to be stolen like it has been done through these illegals and immigrants who hire illegals, immigrants hire illegals. Don't get it twisted. They hire them, and they don't work in our best interests. So anyway, I love you guys. Please thumbs up, share my video, share them on groups. The group pages really help. If you are following 4 or 5 groups, don't just share on your own personal page. Share it on the group pages, and that way we get more people to follow. If you have topics you want me to talk about, I'm going to come on live again. I'm going to probably bring T. West. Make sure you follow T. West. He talked about the 14th Amendment. Very knowledgeable person. I'm trying to bring people who have validation and valid. If you like T. West, he was great. Wasn't he wonderful? He's Urban Game Changers, Executive Director, Arkansas. He really is a wonderful person that breaks down that whole factor of the Constitution and immigration and illegal immigrants. Willie Larson is another one, Urban Game Changers, Florida. He's another person that speaks in a way that breaks it down and provides you knowledge. They have a different energy trait than I do. I'm more street and in your face and, say crazy stuff, as you guys hear me say. But whatever the case, we've got somebody for someone. That if you need help in understanding the right policies, just DM me and say, Shirley, I have a question. If I get back to you, feel free to know that I will. If I don't be mad. Just keep following me and pester me and see if I can answer your questions. Not stupid questions, but questions that will help you move forward. God bless you. Thank you for your love. I'll be praying for you. And in Jesus' name, remember to vote red. If you're a Christian, you vote blue. Shame on you. Vote red, vote red, vote red. Thank you so much.